Hi. Well, I just thought I'd give you another little night night message. So, this is night night message 3, and you can listen anytime. And it's just to help you reconnect with. Sorry, I picked my face. With yourself and your heart and sweetness, because there's a lot of things out there that aren't sweet. And that's not what makes the world go round. What makes the world go round is sweetness, real sweetness, authentic, tenderness, vulnerability. And so, if you need some encouragement, nurturing, grounding in love, right? Because there's a lot of things out there pulling us in every other direction but that, including, self-love, taking care of oneself, and what we put into our minds, bodies, and hearts, and souls, and spirits. So, what do we listen to? What do we watch? Who do we listen to? And so, use this as an antidote if you like, if it works for you, if you enjoy this. So, that just the tenderness it seems to be few and far between. It's not what's for sale. Let me just put it that way. It's not what is generally. It is what we should value, and it is what we should put our money toward. Things that are respectful and kind and tender. But it's not what advertising learns to use to sell you things, to sell us things. They tap into other vibrations to and as human beings, we want community, fellowship. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want to belong. That's a really strong primal need. So belonging. And we can do things that aren't always good for us because of that pull, So it breaks my heart when I see people doing things that, any of us, and it can be very subtle. It can be very subtle, and it can be not so subtle. I'm distracted. So, what I'm inspired to do this for is to make an offering, an offering from my heart to myself and to anyone who chooses, enjoys to listen, anyone who desires, to connect with themselves, connect with ourselves. We can't go anywhere with another person without going there in ourselves. So if we want a deeper sense of belonging and a deeper sense of community, then it's cultivate that inside of you, cultivate your depth, cultivate the depth in you, plumb the depths within oneself, right? And we can also we do that with each other, and we plumb the depths in ourselves through our relationships. Through we plumb the depths of ourselves through our relationships, through the relationships with others, through communing with every single interaction, every with the breeze, with the sun and the moon and the stars and the plants and the bees. What happens when you see a bee? Do you freak out? Certainly if you're allergic, I can understand that. But, we have phobias, we have, people as human beings, there's all kinds of things. We have learned fears. So some people think a bee is something to kill. And a bee is something we need. A bee is a beautiful creature. They're not going to sting you. They're not seeking to sting you. When they sting somebody, they die. I'm not sure if that's every bee. That's my understanding from when I was little. So, all the things that we're involved in life, at all times in our life. Whether we're getting ready to go to school for first day of kindergarten, or college or high school, or work or wedding or whatever it is. All of our doing is all we're the learning that it's always this evolution. It's always this adventure, as I like to say, as I like to call it. It's this adventure called life, right? So, as we set out upon our day, what and why, So we think we're going to our first day of kindergarten, first day of first grade, first day of work, first day of married life or single life, first day with the baby, first day to save the environment. And all of it, those are adventures, but there is a deeper adventure. The thread, the timeless thread of all these things. The thread of consciousness, the thread of awareness, the thread of ourselves as the witness, of being, the witness of expressing, of living, of life, witnessing life happening, witnessing our life happening, right? Because uh, above it all, amongst it all, within it all, along with, along with this thing, this perception of living, this memory, this now, is the witness, the witness of the experience. We think kind of generally that we're just the experiencer, right? That we are moment to moment, a husband, a wife, a child, man, a woman, girl, boy, and ad infinitum with all the qualifiers, right? Like that's who we are. I am, my name is, right? Right? My name is, who are you? The list. Where do you work? What do you do? How many children? Are you married or single? Your color, your skin, your religion. Is this who we are? And some people really, 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 really strongly identify with these things. And then other people have well, that's not that important. That's not really who I am. And then, other people are very conscientious that, those are, for lack of a better word, externalizations, labels. Not just labels, but just, I would call them identifiers. Perceived identifiers, labels, yeah. And, that's what we're perceiving as human beings, right? That's the status quo. That's what we're trained to do, to see those things, see that, see those things like that. See ourselves, those things as in the markers of ourselves, the identifiers of that supposedly say who we are. But are we? What are we? Who are we, right? Who are you? What are we? What are you? Why are you? Why are we? Why are we here? Why am I here? Why are you here? Are we here? Where is here? What is here? You know? Really? I mean, what is here, right? Here, where? I mean, just even simply, you don't even have to, is here where my head is, on this fabric? Is here with you, listening, certainly, right? But how about is here the world? I could escalate that much more slowly and say, is here my neighborhood? Is here my town? Is here my state, my country? Is here the world? And of course, what is my, assisted language? But, why do we use a word of ownership? This is my city. Is that so in other languages? Would they say that? Would the Amazonian people who live there and don't even interact with other people but their own, do they say this is my village? Do they have ownership? Does that language serve them? Our language is built out of service. We define language, we define words, and we define meaning from words for the purpose of structure, for a certain kind of experience, and certainly belief. So our language comes from a belief, right? Totally from a belief. So words would not exist without, it isn't just black furry thing with little cute ears that stands up to just below my knees. That's a cat, Words, language is much more than labeling a thing, because there's all these other things like possession, my city, my town, my house, my car, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my wife, my husband, my child. Ownership, right? Owning a child, mine. Or is it ownership? Or like at birth, it's part of my DNA. But who owns the soul? My soul. Does our soul belong to us? Semantics, but it's interesting to notice, make note within oneself. Because these things that we take for granted, how we speak and how we think and how we arrange language, it defines, it's like reflexive, it's like which came first, the language or the belief, the thought, the perception, or the words. So it's good, the belief came first, the perception, the thought. Because the words are born from from our thought. We create them with our mind, and whatever you choose to think creates the mind, right? I keep saying right. It's so funny. So, where were we? We were talking about, just then how language, so as language is developed and then taught, promulgated to others, the next generation, etc., it holds the blueprint of that perception and the law. That law, it's a brainwashing, right? Because what if we didn't teach new ones language? How would they see the world? It haunts me in a good way. I don't know another word. Can't think of another word right now for. I like the word haunt, but I mean it in a positive way as well as definitely has an edge to it. But I remember meeting this newborn. It wasn't completely newborn. It was, I met it throughout its newborn months. And I think the last time I saw this creature, this young man, this little boy, baby boy, I think he was probably maybe a year and a half. Not sure. Yeah, I think that's probably the max, maybe. And I just never forget it. Never forget this little creature. Because I recall the parents saying in this last gathering and other gatherings that they were not teaching him language. They were purposely not teaching him language. Obviously, they're speaking in front of him, but they weren't saying, this is a cat, mommy, daddy, and all the other things. They wanted to encourage him, allow him to be, and to be what his consciousness developed on its own, rather than brainwashing with language that and I just always think, like, where's this child now? What happened to this child who is this amazing being? Because I have no doubt in my mind that this being is phenomenal. No doubt. And these were people that were meditators and very interesting conscious people. They were more than meditators. Very, very, very highly intelligent people, which doesn't mean anything really at all. I mean, all you have to be is a lover. That's the important thing. Do you know how to love? Hitler had thousands and thousands of people who were doctors, scientists, all kinds of things, labels that people would consider intelligent. And they used that intelligence to do very, 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 very atrocious, violent, cruel, evil things. So I'm not praising their intelligence, but just describing them. They had a lot of beauty, conscientious people. Their home was made out of all ecologically safe and environmentally conscious materials, like really to the nth degree. It was, you could feel it. You could feel it in the space. Oh, let's see. I have to come back. Come back. Come back. Where was that thought? That was kind of burdensome. Yeah, I know what it is. So, yes, I got away from the sweet, I got a little distracted there. See how easy it is? Oh, I know what I wanted. Yes, now I know what I was feeling. So what I was feeling there that was kind of heavy to me and burdensome and a distraction from the simplicity of being, and it started to feel complicated, that this thought I had, and stressful. Yeah. So, language is a gift that we can use, obviously, to communicate, but we can communicate with ourselves. So we can use these things we call words, as in Sanskrit they call sutras, threads, and it's called a thread in my thought, my perception. Like looking up my nostrils, that might not be such a nice thing. Maybe it's okay, I don't know. Threads, these thoughts to carry us back to ourselves, right? Carry me back to Old Virginia. It's one of my favorite songs. Maybe I'll sing it to you one day. My dad used to sing it, and I sang it with him a lot. It was literally one of my favorite songs. It still is. But I haven't sung it in quite a while. I used to sing it every now and then for people. Okay, so, but maybe this is getting too long. It is quite long. Maybe I'll save that for another talk. I think I will. Just listening, Let me know if you'd like shorter videos. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't planning on it being this long. But, I was thinking I'd do like a little short one. So, anyway, oh my god, I didn't see my teeth close up like that. Well, this is kind of the peaceful politics and a little night night magic number 3. So, sleep well, dream well, love well, and let love blossom from you, bubble up from you. That's what air bubbles do, right? They just naturally bubble up. They can't help but bubble up and poof, burst at the surface. And that's what love does. It bursts. And it bubbles up and it expands and it becomes like a bubble until it bursts open and we express it, right? So use that little image to help yourself. Okay. So enjoy. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the night. Open your window. Let the breeze in if it's safe. Only if it's safe. Or for a moment and take in the night air and then close it if you need to. So, I love you, right? Because, of course, We're all love. And that's what matters, and that's what's important. At the end of the day, the beginning of the day, and throughout the day, and throughout the night. And life is this wild journey for some of us to discover how to love again. So many of us have been damaged, hurt, traumatized. So many of us haven't had a good model for loving, for lovers. It's very sad. And allowing the sadness to be felt, other things can bubble up as well, like excitement and joy, like how am I going to figure this out, and permitting the sorrow to be felt, permitting the agony, permitting the tragedy to be expressed, validated, realized, owned, owning our tragedies, so that we can create something beautiful, or unfold something, or participate in something beautiful. Who's the creator? Creating our lives. Yes, we have a will of our own, this mysterious will. So, yeah. So, that's what we need. Yeah, this mysterious will that we've been so-called given. Divine will and thy will, and then there's the human will, the personality. What are we doing with it? Are we refining our choices, And that's why I talk about, our pain, our trauma, because that's it's running our lives until it isn't, It's running our pain body, runs, you know what I'm talking about. And so we have an opportunity to wake up, to stop, right? Just to stop. To stop the show. Stop the, this video looks so weird, I feel like my face is elongated. Oh well. I just don't know about that. It's pretty funny. So, I was saying something good there, I think useful. But, I keep getting distracted. All right, I think that's good, right? That's good. It's a beautiful night. Did you say hello to the moon? I always said hello to the moon. I always said hello to the moon. Do you? Do you say hello to the moon? I don't know if you can hear the crickets and things. Our night friends. Do you have night friends that you can hear? Or are they further away? You know, when you're in the woods away from so-called civilization, it is so noisy. Like, I can't even sleep in the woods because it's so darn noisy. Like, the crickets, the cicadas, I mean, it's like deafening. I mean, I love sleeping in the woods, I always have. But I was camping not that long ago, and oh my lord, I literally didn't sleep all night. I did not sleep all night. Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't really want to go, but I really should go. Right? No, not should. I don't know why I said should. Only because I'm just, I think I'm not sure if this part is useful, I guess. My mind is not in the same place. Earlier, my consciousness is, I want to be useful to you, you know, I don't want to just ramble. I want it to be worthwhile, you know, I want it to be something that you really want to listen to and that it's helpful and enjoyable and sweet and nurturing, you know. But, you know, sometimes it's interesting just to witness another being and maybe, you know, witness somebody searching, you know, quietly and roaming quietly, like my mind is doing its dance, its thing that minds do. So, you know, it's all good. It's just all depends on what we want, right? What do we want? What do we think we want? What do we know? What do we choose, right? What do we choose? So the thought comes to me again, what I wanted to say a bit earlier, but affirmations, you know, the power of language, that we can affirm good things, you know, for ourselves. Love,